Now, recently, the South African rand to the mighty dollar has been gaining so much strength. Previous video, when I was talking about the exchange rate, we highlighted the fair value of the US dollar to South African rand was just around 16 rand, which we discussed in one of the previous videos that I did. I think it was 16 rand 34 cents. That was the actual fair value of where the ZAR should be trading to the dollar. And it looks like the market, it is adjusting towards that price, which is something that is very, very good. This is good when looking to our economy. This is good when looking to our imports, exports. And this is good to those that also want to invest or save on offshore accounts using the dollar, right? Because right now, the amount of money that we are making in South Africa and we are taking it overseas, we are doing so at a cheaper rate. And those that are also shipping products from the US, shipping products outside of the country using the dollar or the US dollar, are getting those products back to South Africa at a cheaper rate, which is something that is very, very good. Now, before we dig deep onto this topic of today of the South African rand gaining strength against the dollar, welcome to yet another awesome video. On today's video, like I said, I want to talk about this currency between our rand to the dollar. And this is very important that you know, because only few people will understand that now is the right time to accumulate assets overseas than just putting all of your money in South Africa. So it is important that, of course, as I take you through this video, you watch it until the end, because like I said, we are going to cover how this is good for individuals, how is this good for the economy and exports, imports, which is something that is very, very good. And I think you should know. It's important that you know so that at least you can take the advantage or take the opportunity by both hands and do whatever you can to take your money either offshore or to buy those products that you've been wanting to buy, probably for business and whatnot, because the rand is really favoring us this time around. So please like this video, please subscribe. Now let's get back to the video. Now, like I said, the South African rand to the dollar is currently at now 17 rands and 20 cents, which is something that is very, very good. I mean, beginning of the year, if I remember very well, the rand to the dollar almost hit 20 rands. People were panicking like crazy. And guess what? Those that had assets beginning of the year, like myself, in as much as it was hurting to see the South African rand becoming weaker to the dollar, something that gave me comfort during that time was because I've got assets that I own, like stocks, overseas stocks, that when the ZAR becomes weak, my assets that side offshore, I can now sell some of them and bring the money this side at a higher exchange rate. So like I said, I want to cover 3 benefits of the South African rand to consumers, businesses, and of course the economy, right? It's important that we know this. I'll also cover the 3 drawbacks or the negative impacts of the stronger rand to the dollar, right? So stick around, because I think you're gonna like what I got in store for you. Without wasting any more of your time, like I said, the first thing, or the first good thing of a stronger rand to the dollar is that your imports become cheap, because obviously now with the rand becoming this strong at 17 rands and 20 cents, the exchange rate that you were paying for the same goods that you were importing from the US, you are paying a much cheaper rate on those goods, which is something that is very, very good, right? I mean, even petrol prices with these, they go down, because you will know that petrol comes from crude oil, right? And the prices of crude oil have stabilized. But again, when we import that oil to our country, they use the exchange rate, and these conditions that we are currently sitting at right now, they are favoring us so much because our currency is stronger as compared to the dollar, right? Or comparing it to the mighty dollar. Now, point number 2, the stronger rand also increase investors' confidence, right? I mean, investors can easily come and invest in our country, or the investors can continue investing into our country because our currency is becoming or has become strong, which is another thing that you need to look at. I mean, like I said, right now, because things are stable, inflation is low, interest rates are sort of like coming down, and now our South African rand is getting stronger. These three things that I just mentioned, it makes, or they are going to make investors to flocking in our country and invest like crazy because the conditions are allowing for that, exactly for that. So it is the good time, or right now is the best time to invest into SA because inflation is down, interest rates are not that bad, and to add the cherry on top, our currency is stronger as compared to the US dollar, which is absolutely great. Point number 3, because the South African rand is stronger to the dollar, it is now the best time to make sure that you invest offshore. It can either be opening just a PayPal account and you stash your cash or savings that side. It can be also for a fact that you buy assets like shares or whatever assets that you can accumulate overseas, taking advantage of the South African rand, because you will know that you cannot just buy, or when you buy international assets, your money needs to be converted first into the US dollars and then you buy those assets internationally, right? Or outside, especially the US. To those that are investing in stocks, now you know that conversion rate for in early this year, it's very much different from the conversion rate of this month where we are sitting at. The rand is much stronger, and therefore now I think it's time that you transfer the money that side. It's time that you buy, or you look at buying, of course, offshore investments. It's time that you look at opening offshore accounts, like I made an example with PayPal, and stash your cash that side, because when the rand becomes weaker, because I don't think it will just continue growing stronger and stronger. I think there will be a point in time where it also gets weaker, because that is how it has been happening. It will get weak, and when it gets weak, at least you would have stashed your cash that side. At least you would be owning quite a number of investments that side. This is very, very important. I think you should consider this. But again, all that I say here are my opinions. This is not financial advice. All I'm trying to say is that right now, I think as a retail investor myself, it's a better time or better opportunity to start accumulating assets overseas, which is absolutely great. Now, the three bad side, or the three negative impact of a stronger rand are as follow. It becomes more expensive for tourists to come visit our country. So tourism industry will sort of like feel the heat, because those people, remember, when the dollar is stronger and our South African rand is weaker, it is easier for them to come to South Africa, because they will get more value for their money when they exchange the rates, because of the fact that the rand is weaker. But now the situation that we are in, it means that tourists need to spend more to come to South Africa. In other words, the money that they were paying on a trip, maybe to Cape Town, let's say from US to Cape Town in January, they will not have to budget the same amount right now because of the stronger rands, right? Which is something that I think also that you must take cognizance of. Number 2, South African exports become more expensive because of this stronger rand, meaning that, of course, the demand for our products will slightly drop, because now companies that are exporting, or that are taking our goods locally to their countries, they are having to pay a bit more, because like I said, when countries are buying products from each other, they are using, mostly the exchange rate is the US dollars. They are using the US dollar, and now when they come to South Africa, they knowing that right now the rand is high, it simply means that obviously they will have to spend more money to get the total number of products that they were shipping or they were taking from South Africa to their country, because when the money comes here, it has to be converted to the South African rands, right? And it simply means that now they are not getting the amount of money they were getting beginning of this year. Point number 3. I've touched a bit on point number 3. The exporters now, when they convert their money into the South African rand, they are not getting the same value of money that they were getting beginning of this year, which this hurts them. This makes it a bit difficult also for South Africa to be competitive, but it won't be that much, because obviously, in as much as all that I just said, these 3 points that I said are bad. They are also good for our country because those products, the little products that they are paying it at a high exchange rate, which benefits us, which benefits the local companies that they are buying those products from. So I am happy about this, man. I think though there is the flip side of the negatives that comes with a stronger rand, it affects more people outside more than how it affects us. Us as South Africans, we are really so much benefiting from this. And looking at the positive, something that really stands out for me is that obviously now I need to start thinking about being more aggressive, either taking my money on offshore accounts or buying international assets like shares, stocks, ETFs overseas, because it's important that you do that or I do that, because when the rand becomes weaker, like what we saw in January and sometime last year, where the rand to the dollar almost hit 20 rands, I know my money would have grown. I know that not only will I be seeing the returns from the stocks that I own, international US stocks that I own, but I'll also be seeing or reaping the good rewards of the exchange rate, converting the dollars back to the rands. It will be so good. But anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. Tell me what you think about this. It is good that we are seeing, of course, the South African rand being strong like this, because finally, we can go and we can now easily take our money offshore to our US accounts. We can save offshore. We can invest easily offshore because the exchange rate is lower. We can also buy stuff at a cheaper rate from the US or offshore because the exchange rate of the South African rand to the dollar is favoring us right now, which is absolutely great. So like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Look, man, it takes me some time to make videos like this, and all I ask from you is to give it a thumbs up so that at least YouTube can spread out this kind of video, because it is important that in as much as yes, you don't even want to partake into maybe buying shares, you can just open a simple PayPal account and then stake your money in your PayPal pocket. And obviously when the rand weakens, which is something that we are still going to see, guess what is going to happen? Your money in your PayPal pocket is going to grow, responding to the weakness of the rand. But anyways, it's not like I'm wishing the rand to be weaker. It will be good that we go back maybe to 16 rands, 15 rands. It will be so good. But anyways, let me stop this video here. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. That is all from me, and God bless you all.